I think we're gonna go to Cardolo's home first. We
Fine,
talked to
Mr.
her husband.
Richter. Please, sit down.
Thank you, Signor Cardolo. I'm
This
sorry
guy
to
right here.
intrude at a time like this.
I've been asked to speak with you, and that request came directly from the U.S. Embassy.
Impressive.
What
Wow.
interest does the United States have in my wife's murder? Do you think it was a terrorist act? Why would they want to hurt Bianca?
I don't have the answers, Signore. I'm still investigating.
Very well. I've already been over everything with the police a dozen times, but I'll do what I can to help you.
Alright, tell me
It would
about
help
yourself.
me to know more about you.
Very well.
Was Bianca your first wife?
See, I worked hard all my life, and I'm not ashamed to say, I enjoyed my youth. But a man who wishes to accomplish certain things in life needs a wife. Bianca was everything I needed. She had beauty, style, connections. I doubt I will ever find her equal.
Tell me about your work.
I am Consigliere of Venice. I used to practice law, but for now my focus is exclusively on politics. Venice is struggling, as is all of Italy. It will take the best of all of us to save her, if we can.
Alright, tell me about Bianca.
Bianca.
What would you like to know?
Yeah, sure. Did she play
Did
piano?
Your wife play piano?
No, she was quite musical, but she preferred dance. She was in a classical dance company before we were wed. As for the piano, Bianca loved to entertain, and music was always a part of such evenings.
Okay, how'd you
How
guys
did you
meet?
meet Bianca?
Bianca's family is one of the most influential in all of Italy. I have known her father for many years. I watched Bianca mature. She was the perfect politician's wife. She loved meeting people and doing philanthropic work. I knew she would make the perfect wife for a man of my ambitions. Fortunately, her father agreed, and I was able to convince her to marry me, even though she was quite young at the time.
Oh yeah? How old?
How old was Bianca when you married her?
She was 18 and I was 43. But
What?
she was very mature for her age. She knew the life she
That's
wanted,
nuts.
and I could give it to her.
The old
She
man's
was
dream.
happy in our marriage, especially once our son came along.
This guy doesn't look like he's 43 though.
Bianca quit dancing after you were married?
Of course, it was hardly appropriate for the wife of a man in my position.
Alright.
How old was Bianca when she had your son?
It was a year after our marriage. She was 19. Does that have some relevance?
We'll see.
I don't want to say this, but, okay.
I realize it is difficult to speak ill of the dead, but Bianca must have had some flaws. No one is perfect.
It is a good thing that I, myself, am a man who often has to say things no one wants to hear, because otherwise I would throw you out of the house for that impudence.
As you say, getting to the truth is not always pleasant.
She was a beautiful young woman. She had some insecurities. Never thought she was good enough, perfect enough. Perhaps I should be grateful for that. If she had been more confident, she might never have married me.
I appreciate your honesty, Signore.
Interesting. What about the
I must
murder?
ask you about Bianca's murder.
If you must.
Do you know who killed Bianca?
No, she was a beautiful and gracious young woman. She had no enemies, nor do I.
Tell me about the night it happened.
Bianca wished to attend a concert. She had a number of musician friends from her student days. I declined to go with her. It was nothing important, and I preferred to get some work done. Now I wish I'd never allowed her to go out alone.
You couldn't possibly have known. It's not your fault. I've heard that you have unpopular views. Perhaps someone took offense to them.
Do you think someone would be cruel enough to hang my beautiful young wife because they did not like my politics?
I think
Never know.
people are not very wise and often violent.
I cannot
I agree.
control what madmen think or do.
Alright,
I'm
so I think
afraid
that's
I
it.
must get back to work. In times of fiscal crisis, one is not even allowed the solace of grief. You may stay and look around. I have told the staff that you are free to come and go. You'll find Bianca's bedroom through that door there. And before you ask, the house has plenty of rooms. Bianca liked having her own sanctuary. We were happily married.
I would be the last person to judge such an arrangement. Thank you for your time, Signor Cardolo.
Alright.
Goodbye.
Alright, let's go see the investigator. So we're pretty much done there. There's nothing really of interest there yet. Go to the murder bridge. I think there was something fishy about that guy, but we'll find out later if something does happen. I'm not sure. But he seemed like he was hiding something. Just pointing that out there. Okay, so now we gotta do assessment of this guy. Looks like they get harder as you go. Red eyes. Stoned. Working long hours, that makes sense, right, detective? Bloated stomach. Smokes avoid eating, thinks it makes him look sexy, high stress job. Sure, why not? Well worn coat. Alright. Maybe the stomach one. Oh. Stress-induced acid reflex. There we go. I got her.
That must be Detective Brunetta. I wonder how Amble Dexter got the Italian police to work with me. There's definitely more to this than Dexter was willing to tell me.
Indeed. Something's fishy for sure.
I should talk to Detective Brunetta before I look around the area.
Okay. Good point. Look at that old creepy lady.
Are you Detective Brunetta?
That is correct. Mr. Richter?
Yes.
I've been told to answer any questions you have about the death of Bianca Cardolo. I can't say I understand why.
Well, I'm glad to know where you stand, Detective. Let's get started, if you don't mind. It's always good to know your source. You won't mind telling me something about yourself?
That depends on what you want to know.
This is a high-profile case, isn't it? You've been working on it around the clock.
That's right. Never lets you go, a case like this. And what is your stake in it, Richter?
I'm not trying to find her killer. I just need information.
And you're
That's
a
pretty cool.
luckier man than I.
Cool water
But
effects.
If you mean you'll stay out of my way, then I'm glad for it.
You've been a detective for a long time. 20 years at least.
That's right. Someone told you about me?
Your experience is obvious.
I will take that as a compliment.
So I think what happens is as you uncover certain things about the person, it just increases more dialogue and you get more points or score or whatever. I think that's what that does.
Do you know the Cardolo family personally?
I'm not a part of that high society, even if I had the time to have a social life, which I don't.
You said you were told to answer my questions. Can I ask by whom?
You don't know?
I'm not in the habit of asking questions I know the answer to.
I was told it came from a mayor's office. You were hired by Signora Cardolo, perhaps?
I can't tell you who hired me.
I see. I suppose I'll just have to keep my guesses to myself.
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo.
She was a popular figure in Venice. Everyone knew her. She was even named the most beautiful woman in the city several years ago. The public wants her killer found, and so do I.
That is cool. I like those water effects. That's neat.
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's murder.
We know she was followed while walking home from a concert. She ran. The killers caught up with her here where we're standing. They hanged her from this bridge.
Sounds
Ouch.
familiar. In fact, I read that much in the papers.
I
Real.
can't read your mind, Mr. Richter. If you have questions, ask them.
She was walking home from a concert alone?
Yes, her husband is a very busy man. As I understand, she often attended artistic events without him.
Was she robbed? Molested?
No, her purse fell into the canal. We retrieved it. Her money and credit cards were all there. Her jewelry was untouched. There were no signs of rape.
Were there any witnesses?
No one came forward, even after Senor Cartolo put out a personal request.
Do you have any leads on the killers?
No. If you want my opinion, such as it is, they were professionals. They left no physical evidence on the bridge or on the body. Even the rope was generic.
Tell me about the Cardolo family.
Dante Cardolo, her husband, is extremely wealthy and a very important man in local politics. Well-respected man, for good reason. Her father, Venetian royalty. It would be difficult to find a more distinguished bloodline anywhere in Italy.
It's with
This
my guy's
guy has
eyes.
all of Venice in shock,
Very creepy.
and we have no leads. We haven't found anyone who would want to hurt her.
And yet, someone did.
Yes. If you want my opinion, her family had nothing to do with it. But that begs the question, eh? Who did?
Good question indeed.
Though
Maybe someday I'll know what this was all about, eh?
I doubt it. Even I don't know what it's all about. But I wish you luck in finding Bianca's killer.
I'll need more than wishes. Arrivederci, Mr. Hector.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. I guess that means goodbye in Italian. Right, let's go see this old lady. Creepy old lady. She's up to something.
Pardon, Signora. May I have a word with you?
Yes? What can I do for you?
Alright, Signora. 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 Hides drugs and bun. Retired teacher thinks style is sexy. We got that. Lost or soldierly, a sore throat. String musician? Did I pick them up? Let's try with the neck one, I'm not sure about that. There we go. Well, I gotta use an item with her. Alright, well, let's talk first.
Yes, Signore. What can I do for you?
Tell me about yourself, old woman.
Is this your home, Signora? It's lovely.
Ah, grazie. It's been in my family for 4 generations.
Wow.
I noticed that you seem nervous, Signora.
You would be nervous too if unspeakable things happened just outside your front door. I do not wish to talk about it.
That's kind of
I'd
too
like to
bad.
introduce myself. My name is Malachi Richter.
Buonasera, Signore. I am Caterina Falone.
I would like to speak with you about the murder, Signora.
No, I'm sorry. I won't speak about that. I already said as much to the police.
But I am not the police. You can talk to me.
I don't know you, Signore. And it is too terrible to talk about. No,
Okay.
Thank you for speaking with me, Signora.
it was a pleasure to speak with such a fine gentleman. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Arrivederci.
That wouldn't do much good.
Okay.
I can't reach it. Besides, the door is much more
Is it to map, I guess? I don't really know where to go now. There's gotta be something here. I don't know where to go, guys. Back to the house, I guess, maybe? Let's go in a room. Popping more pills. We'll see what there's anything in here I can. Oh, desk. Key slot.
I need the key. It would be broad and flat. They look like drawers, but they're decorative. They don't actually open.
Damn it.
Nothing interesting.
Right, nothing in there. Dresser. Be something in there.
These overly large gloves are interesting, but I don't need to take them with me. These overly large gloves are interesting,
Alright.
but I don't need to take them with me. Really not my cup of tea.
What about the nightstand? Nope, nothing. Mirror? Nope. Nope. Alright. I guess we'll leave that room.
It doesn't do anything. Thank God.
Oh, check out the flowers.
I've no use for those cards. I've no use for those cards.
Okay.
Florist putty can be a useful substance, but I don't have any need for it at the moment.
So maybe these are things you gotta come back and get later on.
I don't play. I prefer to stand.
I prefer to stand. Alright, again, I don't really know where to go.
Ah, Mr. Richter. I'm glad you stopped
Oh.
by. Someone was here looking for you.
Oh? Who was that?
It was an Asian woman, middle-aged. She didn't give her name. She came
Ooh.
in to inquire about you after your last visit. To be honest, I didn't like her manner, and I told her I didn't know you. I hope I wasn't wrong.
No, she doesn't sound like anyone I know, and I don't care for people knowing my business. Let me know if she bothers you again.
Of course.
Alright.
Signor Barozzi, might I have a word?
How can I help you, Mr. Richter?
Well, let's
How
talk
is the
about this.
antique business in Venice these days?
How good can it be with this global recession?
I think I just need to
Italy is
trigger something
drowning in
to
debt, and
continue on with the
protesters
story.
keep even the tourists away. In all honesty, I have never seen conditions so desperate.
Fortunately, there's always a market for luxury items. The rich get richer even in a downturn.
How can you say so? The EU is about to collapse. There are terrible days ahead for everyone.
I don't believe it's as bad as all that. The press love to fearmonger.
I am afraid it is that bad. Unless we can find some brilliant leadership to steer the world out of this mess, things look very black.
Well, I hope I am standing here in a year, and you can tell me you were wrong.
So do I.
That's all for now. Thank you.
As you wish.
Alright. There's gotta be something. Why is there two things that exit to the world map? That's what I don't get.